how to sleep like a man of legend. Hey, it's Coach Vulcan, and today, if this is your first time here, you're gonna like this. We're gonna talk about how history makers and empire builders and legends have successful sleep at night so that you can take what they did, you can copy paste them in your life before bed or during the day so that you can experience great successful sleep just as the most successful people throughout history did. How does that sound? Does that sound good? It does. Fantastic! So, without further ado, let's get started. And today we start off with a question. I want to ask you, have you had this experience at night after, let's say you haven't slept for 24 hours, last night you didn't sleep, now it's the evening and it's time for you to have some dinner, but you feel kind of hungry, but you also feel kind of exhausted and you want to sleep. What do? Should you go to bed, or should you stick to your habits and have a meal? What would help you fall asleep faster? What do you think? Should you eat or should you avoid eating? Well, this is exactly what you and me will explore in today's episode together, and at the end of the episode we'll answer that exact question. Does that sound good? It does. Fantastic. So here we go. We start off. Just a moment. Last time we talked about Walt Disney. Today we go on to Robinson Crusoe. You may ask, well, Robinson Crusoe, he's not a real character. Well, Robinson Crusoe, a lot of people don't know this about him. He's based on a real character, so he qualifies for the series, okay? Alright, so Robinson Crusoe. This is back in the 1700s, over 300 years ago. Robinson Crusoe was working at a farm. In Brazil, there was a scorching sun blazing on him as he was working there with his shovel, shoveling away, sweat pouring down from all the pores of his body, and as he was wiping away sweat from his eyebrow, his neighbor Joe came up to him and he asked him, he told Crusoe something that you might find a little bit shocking. Joe, Crusoe's neighbor, he went to Crusoe and he asked him, he told him, hey, me and a few friends, we want to get ourselves slaves, and we're going to Africa to get ourselves slaves. Want to join us and help us get some slaves? Now you may think to yourself, whoa, what's going on? What's the slaves topic about? Well, this is back in the 1700s, as I mentioned, so having slaves back then was the thing. It was like having a smartphone. Even farmers had a smartphone. So today, with our 300 years ago, we might judge them a little bit, or maybe a little bit more, but back then it was normal. So Robinson Crusoe thought of himself, well, they are friends, they need my help, so I'm going to help them. So I'm going to help them get some slaves, get some ancient smartphones. So that's what he did. He got with his friends on a ship and he sailed off to Africa. Now fast forward a few months later, they've been through, I want to fast forward because you want to hear about the sleep, right? Well, that's coming up in just a few minutes. So fast forward real quick, they've been through the ocean and now they're in a storm. There's high waves roaring all around, foam, white foam everywhere you can see around the ship's deck. There's lightning and thunder going all around, and that ship is getting tossed around like a toy ship in a bathtub by a 3-year-old boy, just left and right, and at one point that ship just broke down, crashing into rocks. So as the ship crashed, all the passengers, it tipped, and all the passengers fell into the ocean, including Robinson Crusoe. He was submerged down into the ocean by this huge wave, and as he rode the wave, and he rode it towards the shore. And as he got to the shore, he looked around, where was his friends? And as he did, he saw two shoes and 3 heads who get washed away by the waves and come up to his feet. And he realized all of his friends had submerged by that wave, that he had managed to escape, but all of his other friends did not manage to escape that wave, so they were now at the bottom of the ocean sleeping. But not a restful sleep. They were sleeping one of those bad sleeps, the death kind of sleep. Now, the sun was setting, and Robinson Crusoe is going to be faced with that question that we posed at the beginning. He's been fighting that storm for the last 4 hours. He's exhausted. He has no energy. And he has 2 choices. He could either go to the ship and get some food from there. There is a whole buffet of food, biscuits and sugar and chocolate bars, or maybe not chocolate bars because this is the 1700s, but there's a lot of food he could get and eat. Or, because he's feeling so exhausted, he would instead go to bed and sleep. So, what should he do? What do you think? What would you do? I'm actually curious in his situation, if you were in his feet, standing on that sandy beach and had that choice. You're exhausted. Should you go to bed, or should you eat something and then go to bed? What would help you have a more peaceful night? Comment down below before I reveal that. Let's have some game here. Comment down below and then thought set, and then continue the video. Alright, let's thought set. Now, what did Robinson Crusoe do? Here's what he did. Robinson Crusoe took a deep breath. In and out. And then he made his choice. He looked around for a big tree. He found an oak tree, 100-year oak tree. He went there. He climbed up. He found a big, long, thick branch where he could stretch and also roll around during the night, so he could fall asleep, so he could have as comfortable of a sleep as possible on a tree branch. So that's what he did. He climbed there, he laid down, and the question is, did he sleep? Did he make the right choice? Or should he have instead went to the ship and gotten some food before bed? Well, before we answer that question, I want to talk real quick about his decision. Robinson Crusoe is what I call a shooter. He made a choice. Faced with 2 big choices, he made a quick choice, and if you read any of Defoe's book, we'll see this over and over and over again. Robinson Crusoe is a shooter. He's faced with a choice. He pulls out his gun and he shoots. This, if you want to be successful, whether it's with your sleep or in the waking, this is maybe the best thing that you can do. Be a shooter at night. You feel like you're exhausted, but you also feel hungry, and you decide that you want to have a meal. Pull out a gun, shoot at the target. If that's the target that you decide that you're going to have a meal, go full in, go into that meal, get that apple or that banana and enjoy it fully, richly. If not, on the other hand, if you decide, I'm exhausted, I'm kind of hungry, but I'm also exhausted, I'm tired, I want to sleep, then you go to bed and you go to sleep. Instead, what most people do is they would go to bed, but also they would think, maybe I should grab something to eat. They would go around left and right, flipping like a fish in the sea. And instead of going to bed, they are going to stress themselves all night long, thinking, why didn't I eat? you don't want to do that. Whether you decide, whatever you decide in life, you want to be a shooter, you want to make a decision and go full in with that decision. Now, having that in mind, going back to our original question, if you haven't slept the last 24 hours, you're feeling exhausted and you want to sleep, but you're also feeling kind of hungry, what is the best thing that you can do in order to have a restful night? Well, it's this. Think of your belly, your stomach as a computer. When, let's say, your computer has been running on for the last 7 days, all day long and all night long, you haven't turned it off for whatever reason, what condition is that computer in? It starts running very, very slowly, doesn't it? Well, that's... and if that keeps on, what happens? Well, what happens is that computer runs the risk of going into the blue screen of death with the frowny face saying that your computer might have run into an issue. The same thing applies with your belly. It's telling you that, hey, it needs sleep. Just as you feel in your brain that you need sleep, your belly is feeling the same way. So, the best thing you can do is rest. And by the way, when you do, you on the following day, right after skipping a meal, you know what's really cool? Right after you skip the meal, right after you skip a meal, the next day, the next meal that you have, it tastes much richer, much sweeter, much juicier. It's good. So that's something you want to do. If you skip a meal, faster, skip meals all the time, and it's healthy apparently for you. And also, so while skipping a meal is healthy, skipping sleep, what do you think? Is skipping sleep healthy? Could that be healthy? Well, here's the answer. Skipping sleep is the number one unhealthiest thing that somebody can do. Because during the day, what happens? What happens in our external body gets dirty, and before bed, what do we typically do? If you want to remove all the dirt, we take a shower. Well, sleep is also a type of shower, what I call a superpower shower, because in your brain it gets filled up with all these toxic chemicals that cause brain cell death and brain damage. If they accumulate too much, when you sleep, on the other hand, your brain gets washed with this shower of chemicals that removes all the dirt, all those toxic chemicals, and your brain functions well. The other cool thing about sleep is it's like the blue phone booth of Superman. When Clark Kent goes through the blue phone booth, he emerges out there as Superman. When you go through a superpower sleep shower, when you sleep well 7 days a night, every single night, you wake up as Power Man. You wake up as the most powerful, most energetic, most alive version of yourself. It is a glorious feeling to have. It's one of the best feelings. Now, with that, I believe there was more than enough lessons that I shared with you today here, so I have a little bit of a preview of our next episode written in my notes. Now let me just check. Yes, before I give you the preview, I just want to acknowledge you and thank you for hanging out with me today, for learning and educating yourself, and also entertaining yourself with a fun little story today of Robinson Crusoe. Now, what's going to happen next with Robinson Crusoe, you might be asking yourself. Well, by the way, if you turned on the notifications, you haven't. Come now, turn on the notifications. I'll make these episodes every single week. I don't want you to miss out anything. when it comes to you having a successful sleep. So turn those notifications up and let's see what's coming up next. Ooh. Or actually, maybe you don't want to turn those notifications. It's not that interesting. Yeah, you can skip that. Next time we're just gonna put Crusoe in this situation. Imagine that you had a choice. On one hand, you could get a golden chest. Imagine a wooden pirate's chest full of gold coins. On one hand, and on the other hand is a magic bed. If you went to sleep in that magic bed, every single night you're gonna have normal, restful, deep sleep. Not 6, not 7, 8 fucking hours of deep sleep every single night. But you can choose only one. You can either choose the golden chest or the magical bed. Which one would you choose? Well, this is a situation that Robinson Crusoe, or a similar one because it's not a fantastic story, we don't have any magical beds unfortunately, but this is a very similar situation that Robinson Crusoe is going to be put in. Gold versus good sleep. What's he going to choose? Well, tune in next time to find out. My name is Vulcan. Thank you again for joining me today, and now I'm gonna grab a few pieces of fruit. I have some apples and some bananas, and then I'm gonna take a shower, a cold / warm shower. I've been doing some cold, warm showers lately, and right after that I'm putting my head on the pillow and I plan on resting. With that said, I wish you a good day and a very good night and a very good day afterwards. I'll see you soon. Bye.